Hi Mohini, how are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Okay,
Sir, one screen is present. Okay.
yeah, okay. Yeah, you are, I'm able to see you. Okay. So can you tell us something about yourself?
My name is Moini Chandere. I'm from Pune. I completed my Master of Computer Science in 2017. After that, I have a 4-year gap in my career. Then after I start my one software test, I done one software testing course, which is from online IT Vidya, which contain manual testing as well as automation testing. I have a basic knowledge of core Java.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. So you have a basic knowledge of core Java. So can you tell
Yes, sir.
me, yeah, can you tell me what is abstraction?
Abstraction means the hiding details of it is a OOPS concept.
It is an OOPS concept. And can you give me one real-time example of abstraction?
Abstraction class.
Mhm. Yeah, you can think and you can answer. No issues.
Abstraction means hiding internal details and showing only functionality.
Hmm.
It is called as a abstraction.
Right, right. Okay. So there are a couple of real-time examples that you can give, and those are, very common examples. Let's say, as you were mentioning, abstraction, it displays only the relevant attributes of objects, and it will hide the unnecessary details, right? So you can take an
Yes.
example of driving a car, right? We are only concerned about driving the car, like starting the car, or you will stop the car, right? But behind the scenes, we will what is happening when we accelerate or when we apply brake to the car. So what is happening? So that is abstraction. Similar, one
Okay.
kind of example you can take of an ATM machine as well. Okay, let's say you go to an ATM machine for cash withdrawal, okay, or for money transfer or for retrieving mini statement, right? Now we don't know internally what is happening in that box in that ATM machine, but when you insert an ATM card for any kind of operation, so it is functioning fine, right? So you are you are more concerned about the end result, not getting revealed about the what is happening behind the scenes, about the internal details, right? So this is how you can
Okay.
explain abstraction. And
Okay.
as this was a question of abstraction, similarly you can get question on other OOPS concepts also, like inheritance, encapsulation, then
Yes, sir.
yeah, polymorphism,
Polymorphism.
right? So you have to be thorough with all these things. Okay, now can you tell me what is agile?
Agile is a iterative and incremental model. It is a day-by-day waterfall model. It is developed day by day, means module by module. Customer no need to wait the long time when develop the agile process. The small piece of software is released to the customer
Hmm.
in agile model. Advantages of this model is that the required change is allowed in any middle of the stage.
Mhm.
Uh, the release will be very fast in the agile model.
Mhm. Okay. Now, with respect to all these points in Agile, what is Agile testing?
Agile, agile testing means uh, agile testing with the help of Scrum framework. We do the agile testing with the help of the Scrum framework. Scrum is divided into three parts: role ceremonies, artifacts. In the roles, product owner, Scrum master, and
Okay. Okay. There is
uh,
a, yeah, yeah. I'll help you with this answer. There is a slight change in the answer. The roles in the Scrum, this is altogether a different question in which you will have, Scrum team, Scrum master would be there, project owner will be there, right? When
yes,
someone asks you in an interview, in a real-time interview, what is Agile testing, right? So you can tell
hmm,
Agile testing is nothing but the testing a particular software or a piece of code or an application which is done in parallel to the development activity. Okay. For example,
okay,
consider user stories there. Okay. and in that they have to develop a code of login screen end to end. Okay, so if you consider an example of a waterfall model, so they will develop username, password, forgot password, change password, login button, everything would be developed, and then you will get in a single go for testing the entire thing, right? But in Agile, what happens? They will first develop the username, for example, then they will give you for the testing. So then the next text box password they will develop, then they will give that for testing. Okay, so what happens in Agile testing is the testing team, the QE team, it receives the small codes, small chunks from the development team for testing. Okay, it does not
Yes.
come in one go, it as it was coming in the waterfall model.
Okay, sir.
Okay. And because of Agile, there are chances when the customer might change the requirement, might change the FRDs or BRDs. So requirement also gets changing, so it's a dynamic environment, so development also gets changing, and accordingly you have to test the things that are getting changed. So it is a dynamic environment that is followed by a QA person.
Okay, sir. Sorry.
Yeah, no issues. You want to have a glass of water, you can have it. What is refactoring?
What, sir?
What is refactoring?
Refactory?
Mhm.
No, sir, I don't know.
Okay, so refactoring is nothing but it is a modification of the code which is done without changing its functionality to improve the performance. That is called refactoring. Generally, what happens once the development team has completed some particular user story or feature or functionality, then they will come to know, okay, no, these are few of the things that are deteriorating my performance of the code. So
Okay.
they will modify the code, but they won't change the functionality, and they will do these things in order to improve the performance. Okay. You want to
Okay.
have a glass of water, you can have it. No issues.
No, sir. Okay.
Okay, fine. So let's move to the next question then. Now consider you have been given a login screen. Okay, with username, password, login button is also there.
Okay.
Can you give me the high level test scenarios? How will you test this particular login screen?
First, check the username and password.
Hmm.
After that, we check the uh, login login and reset password, forgot password.
Hmm.
This will be checked. A positive scenario with log username and password is valid, then we move to the next page, and we give the negative scenario means username and password not correct, then we cannot log in that particular page.
Mhm.
Forgot password button is also there. When we forgot that particular password, then we click on that forgot password link, then another screen is open, then we confirm, change our password with this part where the password is sent to the our email ID or phone number.
Mhm. Okay. Any other scenario that are coming to your mind?
One reset button
Hmm.
also
We said
set.
forgot my password. You are telling about that.
No, sir.
So you can cover forgot my password scenario as well, right? So in case if
Yes.
you forget your password, so then what would happen? You will get some questions and you will have to answer those questions. These will be the
Okay.
yeah, these will be the same questions in which you would have kept or you would have set the answers when you would have signed in for the first time, signed up for the first time, right? Then change password is also there. So that flow
Yes,
also
sir.
you can explain. Now, can you tell me the non-functional test scenarios for a login screen?
Non-functional. Uh, s- Security testing.
Security testing. Okay. What would be the
Means
test scenario?
password is not visible. Password is visible in uh, encrypted form.
Mhm. Okay. What if the
Uh,
password is not visible in an encrypted format? It is displayed in plain text. What would be the severity and priority of this defect?
Severity. Priority is high. because urgency to that particular fixed particular defect. Priority means not impacted on, severity is low, not impacted on other system.
Severity is low and priority is high, you are telling.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Severity is low because it is not impacting the system.
What, sir?
Yeah, severity is low because it is not impacting the system, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So see, if the password is displayed in plain text, it is not displayed in
Hmm.
an encrypted format. So the severity will be high, the priority also would be the high. Okay. Because this is a showstopper, this is a critical defect, right?
Okay,
And
sir.
as you were mentioning about security testing, right? So this will be a blocker defect. You won't be able to release or sign off this particular build without without fixing this defect.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now let's come to the parent question. What are the other non-functional test scenarios for a login screen?
Functional. Mm, no, sir.
Okay, so you can take an example of performance testing over here, right? Test scenarios of load testing, stress testing. Let's say
Press-
if, yeah, you want to say something?
No, sir.
Okay, so consider for this particular website in which login screen you are testing, in the BRD it is mentioned that at a time 100 users can log in, for example. Okay, so you can add your test scenario with respect to stress testing, that what if 101 users are trying to log in, what would be the response of the website, right? Is it
Okay.
getting crashed? Is it showing some slowness issues? Is it uh, is it able to handle all those things? Is it giving some user friendly message, or is it giving some exception? What is happening at that time? Okay. Then
Okay.
you can also test by you can also do load testing, right? That is also part of non-functional testing. You can test with
Yes,
10
sir.
users, you can test with 20, 40, 80, 100, and then you can see the response of the, you can check the response of the website.
Okay, sir.
So this is how you can test. Okay. Now consider there is a scenario and you have to test one particular folder. Okay. Now in that
Okay.
particular folder, you have 500 images with the same name. Then how will you compare the images? How will you find the duplicate images?
Duplicate.
Mhm.
Uh, Git window handler method
Window
use.
handle? No, no. So this is not with respect to automation question. I'm just asking you a normal generic manual testing question.
No, sir.
Okay. So consider a scenario where you have 500 images in a folder with the same name, right? And you are supposed to compare the images and find the duplicate images. So what you can do is you can sort them with respect to size, right? And
Uh,
those duplicate images will have the size with this of the same number. Let's say 100 KB is there. So all those images size would be 100 KB only, right? So accordingly, you can filter and you can find out the duplicate images.
yes.
Okay. Now consider a scenario where you are supposed to test a report and that report has got 40 pages. Okay. Now you are supposed to test all those 40 pages in a report and you have a release time of 2 days. So what would be your test strategy? How will you
Mm,
make sure that all those 40 pages of the report you are able to test thoroughly and give a green signal in 2 days?
uh, I use input techniques.
Sorry,
Input techniques used
input techniques.
means use
Which techniques you will use?
uh, boundary value analysis,
Very nice. Okay. Mm-hmm.
error guessing, decision table,
Mm-hmm.
equivalence class partition.
Okay. Now, can you take any one of these technique and help us with the answer? Like how will you use boundary value analysis to test 40 pages of report?
Uh, boundary. We set the upper boundary and lower boundary, and check the lower boundary plus one, lower boundary minus one, upper boundary plus one, upper boundary minus one.
Hmm.
That condition we checked and then passed that condition.
Okay. So which are the pages that you will be focusing while testing?
Which we use the error guessing techniques. The main with the help of experience, our experience,
Hmm.
we will only focus on the that pages which having a error and defect, and only that pages we check with the help of experience of that particular tester.
Mhm. Okay. So it is taken that you are using some particular technique, maybe boundary value analysis and error guessing. Now I want to know which all pages of the report that you will be testing. So one aspect is clear, you won't be testing all the pages of the report, right? So
Yes,
which are the pages of the
right.
report that you will be testing for certification?
No, sir.
Okay, so what you can do is, see, you are thinking in the right direction. Over here, you are using boundary value analysis or you are using error guessing. So when you are saying boundary value analysis, so the first page of the report, 1 to 40 is your limit. Okay, so you would be testing the first page of the report, then you will be testing second page of the report. Similarly, you will be testing 39th and 40th page of the report, right? When you say equivalence partitioning means you will be testing, you will be dividing the 40 pages of the report into three classes, maybe 1 to 15,
Yes,
15 to 30, and 31 to 40, and you will be testing some of the pages randomly. When you say error guessing, so it depending on the bugs that you have found. Let's say on the 11th page of the report, you have already always found the critical defects. So based on your error guessing technique, you will be first testing that particular page, right? The 11th page of the report, just to make sure that there is no regression issue found because of the fixes that they have done, right? So this is how you can practically explain in an interview based on the techniques which all pages in the report you will be testing. Okay, and as the
yes,
time
sir.
is less, so no need to test all the pages, right?
Okay.
So that thing you have to take care. Okay, now what is the difference between epic, user story, and task?
Epic user story
And
and
task.
task.
Yeah, with respect to agile, I'm asking what is the difference between epic, user story, and task?
Uh, user story. Sorry, I don't remember. I know that.
Okay, no issues. See, user story is nothing but it will define the actual business requirement, right? It is generally created by the product owner or the business owner or the project managers,
Uh,
right?
Epics means collection of user story.
Perfect collection, or you can say a group of user stories. Okay, then task is nothing but let's say you have a big user story and you have small tasks that you need to finish in order to complete that particular story. So those are defined
Yes,
as tasks. That can be any task. It can be a development based task. It can be a task with respect to the testing team as well.
yes.
So that thing is okay. What is the difference between SOAP and REST web services?
So,
Mhm.
no, sir. I don't know.
Okay.
API. I don't.
Okay, fine. So this will be an open question for the people who are watching this video. What is the difference between SOAP and REST web services? Okay.
Okay, sir.
Now, what is database testing?
Database testing.
Hmm.
No, sir. No.
You want to give a try for this question?
Database testing means we fetch the SQL query to the data and give the connection between uh, Java frame using Java framework.
No, you won't be using Java in that. Basically, database testing is a type of software testing. It is also a type of software testing. You can say it will validate the tables, the triggers, the schema of the database under test. Now, let's say you have some web application. You are entering some data in a web application. So the data will be going from the front end to the back end. So whether that data is stored properly in the back end in the database or not, right? The
Yes,
consistency of the data, the integrity of the data, those all things will be checked in a database testing. Is it clear now?
yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is compatibility testing?
Compatibility testing means it is a check to the two things mix up with each other. Means it two types of compatibility testing: software compatibility testing and hardware compatibility testing.
Right. So, so can you give me an example of compatibility testing?
Means water is mixed with the milk.
Hmm.
It is like compatibility testing. In,
Any other example?
any other um, no, sir.
Okay. What do you mean by backward compatibility testing and forward compatibility testing?
Backward? No idea, sir.
Okay, no issues. So this is a mock interview. Even if you don't know the answer of the question, that is absolutely fine. Okay. Now,
Yes.
compatibility testing is nothing but you will be testing your software with respect to the various other compatibility testing types. Like, let's say hardware is there, right? So you will be checking whether your software is compatible with different hardware configurations or not. Then operating system is there. So whether your software is compatible with different operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, Unix, Linux, etc. Then network is there. So whether the software or application is working or the performance is fine with respect to the various network parameters, various bandwidth is there, right? Operating speed, capacity, all these things are uh, coming under the network. Then with respect to various browsers, you will be doing testing like Firefox, Safari, Edge, Google Chrome.
Yes.
Then with respect to various devices like USB port devices there, printers is there, scanner, Bluetooth. So is your software compatible to all these devices? Then versions of the software, then mobile platforms like Android, iOS, right? So these are the various things that you will be performing testing with respect to compatibility testing.
Okay.
Now, let me share my screen. Are you able to see this page?
Yes, sir. Axis
Can you
Bank.
tell, yeah, can you tell me the GUI test scenarios for this particular page?
Axis Bank logo is display in well format. Means spelling mistake. Any color is not changes. This
Right. What else?
uh, link it. Uh, all the field are corporate ID, login ID, password ID in that place. Log, uh, all all the spellings are correct. Verify the spelling is of Axis Bank is correct or not.
Okay, apart from that, anything else?
Footer text is displayed properly in format.
Correct, correct. Then
Corporate ID, login ID, password, login button, reset password button. It's display in the middle of the section. It's in well format or not.
right. You have joined from laptop or mobile?
Mobile.
Okay, right. So in real time interviews, always join from laptop. So you would be able to
Yes,
see
sir.
the screen.
My laptop having some issue today.
Okay, okay, no worries. No worries. Okay, so then you can also test whether this copyright scenarios are mentioned properly, copyright years are mentioned properly or not. Right? Okay.
Okay.
Now let's say this Axis Bank logo is not displayed properly. So what would be the severity and what would be the priority of this defect?
Uh, Severity is high priority and high severity because Axis Bank logo is the logo of that branch
Hmm.
bank.
So severity will be high. Are you sure?
Severity means it is not severity is low
Mhm.
because it is not impacted on any other functionality.
Right, right. Severity will be low, priority will be high.
Yes, sir.
So that is fine. Severity will be low, priority will be high because it is not impacting the user. Okay. Now, what is the difference between SDLC and SDLC?
S- SDLC.
Mhm.
SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. SDLC stands for Software Testing Lifecycle. SDLC contains all the phases which is developed for the particular software from day one to the end of the project. SDLC is the phase of that SDLC, which is only related to the testing. STLC create a high level document and low level document, which STLC contains the FRS and use case documents, which is used to the testing life cycle.
Okay. Any other difference?
Um, mm, oh, no, sir.
What is monkey testing?
Monkey testing means without any format, we can check test the scenarios. Randomly we check that particular
Right,
scenario.
right. So the tester will enter any random inputs into the software application without predefined
Mm,
test cases, and he will, or she will check the behavior of the software, whether it
okay.
crashes or not. Okay.
Okay.
So experimental techniques are used. You can tell like that in an interview.
X
Yeah,
means
experimental techniques are used to find out the bugs, or you can say to find out the defects in the software application.
experiment. I
Now,
don't
what
sure.
is
No, sir.
yeah? Now, what is gorilla testing?
Gorilla. No idea.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It is also related to somewhat similar to monkey testing.
Means due to lack of time checking all possibility of testing, it is only focus on main possibility.
No, no. So actually, what happens in gorilla testing is there is a certain piece of code or the module of program that is repeatedly tested to ensure that it is working correctly, and there is no bug in that module.
Okay.
So that is gorilla testing, and it is also called as frustrating testing because you would be testing the same module over 100 times in the same manner. Right? So that will be a tedious task to do.
Okay, sir.
Now, can you tell me the high-level test scenarios for LinkedIn application? How will you test the LinkedIn application?
verify the when login the LinkedIn application, we check the username, password, and login. After that, we go to the LinkedIn application. Then we check the when we post that application, check that post, check the notification, check the profile is updated or not in LinkedIn application. Check other uh, advertises display on LinkedIn application or not. We can apply through the LinkedIn application. We can also check the notification or different companies, and we check the other companies opening in that display on LinkedIn application or not. And
Any other scenario is coming to your mind?
when we apply, then they give the confirmation message to us. Okay, sir. That's it.
So apart from this, you can also add the test scenarios of updating your password, updating your mobile number, updating your email address. So these are also the test scenarios that you can perform testing at the time of, that you can use at the time of performing testing for LinkedIn application. Then when you are posting something, I think you covered that particular test case for posting, right? But you can also post a URL or a YouTube video URL or a video itself, or you can upload an image and then you can post it, right? So,
Okay.
or you can tag someone and then you can see whether on their profile pages also your post is your activity is been displayed. Then you can check your recent activities. Then you can also message someone via LinkedIn, and in that message you can also send an attachment. Let's say if you want to send some Word document file or some CV or Excel file, then are you able to send those attachments? Okay, so those
Okay.
things you can do. Yeah, I think those good. Then you can also verify whether your profile picture is displayed properly or not. Let's say you are uploading your
Yes.
profile pic, so all those LinkedIn should be displayed properly. then
Yes, sir.
then there is an logo of open to work option. Those things should be displayed properly, right?
Okay.
So these are the things that you need to test. Can you tell me high level test scenarios of a pen? How will you test a particular pen?
Pen.
Yes.
Verify the pen material, verify the pen cap, verify the pen color, verify the it is smoothable or not, verify the pen rubber, uh, uh, verify the what type of material used in the pen to making, verify the ink color of the pen, uh, verify the ink, it is a writable on the paper, which it is smooth to write or not, verify the clicking operation is good or not.
Mhm.
Um, that's it.
Okay, okay, this is good. So, Mohini, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, sir. What is the functional testing of wall?
Wall. Okay, so you want to test a particular wall.
Yes, sir. Yesterday I asked one interview.
Okay, okay. So you can test with respect to wall. You can do the testing whether that the the material that is used for building the wall is proper or not, right? Then you can
Uh,
test that particular wall by throwing water. After throwing water, the wall color should not get faint. It should be displayed
uh,
properly, right?
yes, sir.
Then one more scenario you can add that uh, if the doors are being put up on those walls or mirrors are put up on those walls, then the wall should not have any cracks, should not break, right? Then
s-
you can also test about the wall with respect to ceiling, right? Let's say you have this ceiling on the third floor or which is linked to the terrace. Okay, then if some leakage is there, then the wall color should not get faint in that context as well,
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
right? So this is how you can tell. See, they might ask you any test scenarios, right? Now it depends on you how you are thinking. What are the
Yes.
uh, what are the different way of analysis that you are doing?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so it is fine.
Sir, can you send to me Selenium interview question? Because
Yeah.
I'm clear my third round of GenSoft.
Mhm.
Fourth round is conducting on Thursday.
Sure, sure.
Can you?
Well, I'll send it to
Uh,
you. Yeah.
because your question is very different.
Okay, no issues. I'll send all the possible interview questions to you. Okay. Or
Okay.
else I'll also send the link to you, which you can refer the video in which I have asked the automation testing questions. You can refer that video as well.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Mohini, and all the best for your career.
Thank you, sir.